Hello, this is Dan. We're looking at the CNC machine down in the shop and going to talk a little bit about tooling today. So you notice on this particular program, this is just an example here, but I have, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 different tools assigned for this tool path here, and they're all specific for a machining task that needs to occur. I've actually already machined the part. Here's an example of what it looks like. It's only partially done, but there's a counter bore in there, a couple of small holes, and then some larger holes around the perimeter, and kind of a scalloped edge here that, so just to kind of show you some of the machining operations. And then here's the tool changer with a variety of different types of cutters to do all these various tasks. And you can just kind of end up with a plethora of tools, again, to do all sorts of different cutting tasks with different materials. But what's important here is this little tag. So this tag is something that I designed and 3D printed, and it's just a unique identifying number. It slides very nicely right into the collet here, and I put everything in order so that I know where all my tools are at. And it just keeps going on and on. So my place is kind of a mess right now. These tools end up getting loaded into the CNC machine software, and you get a description and an offset and a diameter, and I will spare you all the details on that, but they're loaded into the CNC machine, and they're also loaded into the CAM software, and all these things kind of have to match up in order for, you to make a successful part. So today I'm going to talk about just making these little tags, and that's kind of the goal here. Alright, we're at the CAD software here. You notice it's the same part that we just looked at, and if I go into the tool library, this actually mimics what's on my CNC machine. So all of these have to match with the tool library that's in the CNC machine. So you can digitally define what the operations are when you want to simulate and machine the part. And I'll speed it way up. This is an example of how the part is actually going to get manufactured. But these tools all have to match one another. So organizing that is very important. And, the method that I use is I label each one with a number. So just kind of wanted to share how this whole operation works. I am creating little tags for my Tormach tooling system. And the way this works is I have this little template here. And I suppose I can show you how this was drawn. I started with a block like that and added some text, added a couple of fillets, and then put a couple of, I think they call these elephant's feet. This is to facilitate 3D printing. And what I'm doing here, I'm doing it the manual way. I'm sure there's an automated way to do this, but I'm going in here, and sorry, that's hard font to see with this backlit. But I'm changing each tool tag to have its own unique number. This is important when you have a lot of tooling in your library. You gotta make sure that you know what's what. And I save it out as an STL, and I'm gonna go ahead and 3D print these tags, and I'll patch in another video on what the end result looks like. Here's an example of my 3D printer with a whole new fresh batch of tags. Basically, you just 3D print. I like to have my font a different color just so it's very easy to see. They all thankfully are just sliding right off. Man, I love this printer. It's the best printer ever. 5-color printer, Prusa XL, amazing machine. Fast, quiet, reliable. Can't say enough good about it. So yeah, I'll just take these tags and label up my next set of tools. I hope you enjoyed this video.